Well, welcome back, folks, to PKN's live stream of interviews being conducted at the AIP Australasian Packaging Conference 2025 and beyond in breaks and when we can get a chance. And, of course, this interview is being brought to you thanks to Ball and Doggett. Lindy, how are we going?
Well, we've had a very interesting session. We are here with Bill Heague. He's the General Manager of Mars Food Australia. And Bill, you made some really excellent points about the strides that Mars Food is making against its targets. Give us a quick overview of what you said.
Yeah, so we're very much looking towards the targets that APCO have set, at least to get to 2025. We know there's more to do from there. We'll look to be at 94%, hopefully, when we submit this year, as in our packaging design for circularity. And then we hope to be by 97% at the end of this year with some other initiatives we'll have in place.
And one of the strong takeouts that I got from your session was packaging does not exist in isolation. Explain what you mean by that.
Yeah, we have a great reputation as a food-making nation here in Australia, and we don't want to compromise that. So the role that we can play in making sure food is fit for purpose, it lasts as long as possible, that we get the most amount of value that farmers have put into the products that are grown in the first place. We can't neglect that just for the sake of packaging as well. We have to get that balance right.
And you also were advising other companies to start now with a long-term view. What do you mean by that?
Some of the projects, the squeezy sauce bottle one that I talked about, has been 9 years in the making. Long-term conversation with a supplier that we've now made a long-term commitment with to bring to life, to de-risk it for them and de-risk it for us. We can't do this by ourselves. So, being able to have those conversations early, have those tricky conversations that you need to as well, means you can try some stuff and hopefully make some advances as well.
And the other thing you said was none of us can solve this alone, which speaks to collaboration. Now, I know that Mars is collaborating with the National Plastics Recycling Scheme. That's right, NPRS. Tell me a bit about your involvement with that.
Yeah, I'm on the steerco, and every month we get together, and it's fantastic. One, I get to hear what's happening in other companies. It kind of spurs us on to want to do more. There's a little bit of competitiveness in it, but in a friendly way. But we're learning so much too about investments that are being made in terms of advanced recycling and the capacity that will come online in the next few years. But then the different collection schemes, we've got our own trial as the NPRS at the moment, collecting in 6 LGAs, turning that back into oil so it can be turned into plastic again. So yeah, we really are trying to design not just each of the member companies hitting their packaging targets and making good packaging, but what's the ecosystem we need to build together that can then pick that up from households and turn that back into plastic again.
And just overall, your impressions of the conference so far?
Great to be back in a room with people. Every conference this year, that you got to start with that theme, that the connections you have bumping into people are much better than what you get looking down a screen. And I get this sense that everybody knows the challenge that we're facing and is really eager to work towards it. So in that theme of, we can only solve things together, it's these sorts of events, these uncommon connections, these new things that you learn that really help us make progress against what are very important goals.
I couldn't agree more. Thanks very much for joining us, Bill.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Bill. Great to see you again. And thanks, Lindy. And of course, thanks to everyone who's tuned in to this PKN interview that was conducted at the AIP Conference 2025 and beyond. We'll be back in the not too distant future as we take breaks and be able to sneak in some interviews. And of course, they'll all be brought to you by Ball and Doggett.